Welcome to the Maria Liberati Show, where food meets art, travel, and life. So what does food mean to you? I have as a special guest Trenton Hudson, and Trenton is joining us from LA. I always like to travel around the world from my Zoom camera. Trenton is an entrepreneur, cartoonist. He's got a really interesting food company that we're going to let him tell you about. He has his own coffee company making coffee out of something very interesting. So you'll definitely want to stay tuned for this segment all about this new company. And I just wanted to remind everyone that on Sunday, March 26th, I will be doing another food and wine pairing at the beautiful Ridgewood Winery in Bechtelsville, Pennsylvania. You know, they have some really great award-winning wines there, not to mention how beautiful the scenery is there. And this will be an Italian-themed 4-course wine pairing, and you can register. Registration is limited, but you can register for this event on eventbrite.com. And for all my podcast listeners, if you use the code food and wine with the number 5, you will get a special discount, and that is only for my podcast listeners. So sign up again. It's on eventbrite.com. Hope to see you there. And if you have any questions about the event before you come out, you can certainly email us at info@marialiberati.com. So sit back and relax and let the aroma of freshly roasted coffee beans transport you to a world of sensory delights. Whether you're a seasoned coffee connoisseur or just starting your journey, this podcast episode is the perfect companion for any coffee lover. So stay with me. So today I have as a special guest Trenton Hudson, and Trenton is joining us from LA. I always like to travel around the world from my Zoom camera. So that's where we're traveling to, LA. And Trenton is an entrepreneur, cartoonist, right? Mm-hmm. And he's got a really interesting food company that we're going to let him tell you about. But Trenton, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Maria. It's a pleasure.
Great. So I know you just told me that you have a coffee company and you make coffee from date seeds. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. So we use date seeds as opposed to coffee. It's probably, if you want coffee, but you don't want the caffeine or the acidity, right, those type of negative things, yes, date coffee is probably the way to go. I've tried a lot of coffee alternatives. I haven't had any that really taste like coffee.
Right.
And some of them are pretty decent, but I wanted that coffee, you know, because I love coffee, but it doesn't love me back. So
yes, I've had some really bad coffee substitutes also. I've had some decent ones, but not that great. So that's really interesting. So tell us how you got into doing this coffee with dates.
So there's two parts to the story. So right, the first part is 12 years ago. I was 20 years old and I had a heart attack.
Oh my gosh.
So it's kind of one of those freak 1 in a million things. Yes. Everything is good now. Last time I saw my cardiologist, we did like every test in the book. Everything came back great. Normal blood flow, normal function, everything is good. And, you know, I can work out, play basketball, exercise, do all these things fine, but coffee gives me a little bit of chest pain. And it's not painful, but it feels, you know, you need to lay off this stuff.
Yes, so, the caffeine, I guess.
Yeah, so caffeine constricts your arteries a little bit. So for most people, if you're in good health, that's not a big deal. But when you have any kind of heart issue at all, it's not really
a good thing. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I love coffee. The caffeine honestly never really did much for me anyway. I just love the taste of coffee. I love, you know, having a hot drink when it's cold outside and having coffee while I work, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But a few years ago, I quit drinking coffee. It started giving me chest pain. It took a while to catch up to me, but so I just kind of laid off of it and I was missing it and I was looking for something else. You know, I just happened to eat a lot of dates and I'm a really resourceful person. One day I'm literally just throwing date seeds away as I'm eating my dates. And I wonder if I can do anything with leftover date seeds.
Exactly.
So I Googled it. You can turn them into coffee. So I started making it for myself at home. I would roast them, grind them up.
Right.
And but then I got tired of making it. I just wanted to go to the store and buy it, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Wow. So I, you know, kind of thought, aha, you know, if I like this, I'm looking for things like this. There's other people out there looking for this too.
Yes.
So if I can, you know, help other people find what they're looking for, that's just like a win-win for me.
Yes.
So
That's
yeah,
great.
that's
That
in
was
a nutshell
great.
how it happened. Yeah. Just kind
Yeah.
of on a whim. Yeah, just looking.
Yes, that was great. That because I'm always wondering that, like with different foods, where you're throwing away the seeds. I recently saw a store selling roasted apricot seeds, saying that they're good, like to eat, just to eat them plain.
I
So I
don't
guess there's different,
you gotta be careful because some seeds are toxic. Some
right?
seeds can become toxic after you roast them.
Ah,
I've heard apricot seeds are toxic, so I don't know.
I've heard that too. That's why I was quite surprised. But I've often wondered, with different parts of different fruits or vegetables that we throw away, if there's different things you can do with them. So that's great. So did you get a company then to start making this for you? Because obviously to make it in larger batches.
Hmm. Yeah, it was kind of a crazy journey how it started. I actually started when I decided to make it, I literally from the time I decided, hey, here's an idea that I can turn into reality,
Right.
from the time I had the idea to the time I had an online store and selling my coffee was 3 weeks.
Oh wow.
So I
That's great.
literally designed packaging. I
Uh-huh.
ordered some janky little stock coffee bags off Amazon. I got like a 50
Right.
pack of them,
Right.
and I literally roasted that batch in my house, grinded it
Ah,
up, bagged it up, made
right.
sure that people would want to buy it, started to, see if this would work.
Yes.
And it worked. I was working with this small farm
Uh-huh.
and I just kept reinvesting everything. I
Uh-huh.
was making it in my house for a while.
Hmm.
Then I had a small coffee company that I was partnering with. They were
Uh-huh.
making it. And then the crazy thing is, so I had this small coffee company partnership,
Hmm.
and then I'm running low on inventory. And I hit him up one day. I'm like, hey, I'm going to come by Friday so we can roast some date seeds.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, about that. We can't really do that anymore because it's affecting the way our coffee tastes.
Oh, wow.
So, like, huge setback. I was kind of like back to square one, making it
Wow.
in my house, low on inventory,
Hmm.
and trying to call around different coffee companies, different co-packers in the LA area,
Right.
and try to find someone who will make my coffee for me and want to partner on this. And I
Yes.
finally found a coffee company that was big enough to not worry about the date seeds affecting their coffee taste because they roast like millions of pounds. They do a lot of third-party coffee roasting.
Oh, okay.
And so now it was really a blessing in disguise having that initial setback because now the new partnership that I have, this company, I just send them my stuff and they do everything else. They roast it, grind it, bag it up, they sit it in their warehouse, they
Uh-huh.
ship it out when someone buys it.
Hmm.
So they make it a lot easier for me so that now all I have to really do is focus on selling. I
Hmm.
don't have to focus on, I'm not bagging up coffee. I'm not
Right.
making post office runs once or twice a day, every day.
Uh-huh.
So I have all this time now to really grow my business and focus on reaching people, helping people that are looking for this, and really doing the things that are going to help me grow.
Wow. Well, it's great that you found the company. So I'm
Setbacks, though.
assuming, yes, I'm assuming the date seeds, you do kind of the same thing you would do with like coffee beans where you roast them and then you grind them. Is that pretty much it? And
Yeah,
then,
that's exactly it. We literally, so coffee, we call them coffee beans, but they're actually seeds also from the coffee plant. So
right.
it's literally the exact same process. It's just a
Oh, wow.
different seed from a different plant.
Uh-huh.
I'd say the big glaring difference is that we don't really have the option to sell people a whole bean so that you can grind them at home
Right.
because the date seeds are very hard, really dense.
Oh, yeah.
When I
Yeah.
first started my company
Uh-huh.
and I was trying to do this, I definitely burned up a couple
Oh, coffee
grinders.
grinders. Oh,
I,
wow.
I you know, I burned up a coffee grinder, like a tabletop one that you just have at home to
Right.
use for yourself.
Right.
That
Right.
wouldn't even come close. Like the motor
Oh,
burnt up in
wow.
that thing quick.
Uh-huh.
And even in like we had a small industrial grinder when I was working with the smaller coffee company initially,
Uh-huh.
and we even burned up like a really expensive grinder.
Oh,
We
wow.
burned up with the date seeds. Well,
Oh,
this was also running tons of them through, not like your
right.
typical 1 cup of coffee in the morning. But
Right.
it was, yeah. So now we have the new company that I work with. It's like the world's most powerful, awesome grinder because we've never had an
Grinder.
issue with it.
So
And
the grinds, then can you use it like a regular coffee? Can
mhm,
you use it,
yeah,
just put in a regular coffee pot, however you would use coffee, you're going to use this. It sounds like it might be like have a little sweetness to it, does it? Like nice
definitely, yeah.
and
So it's
uh-huh.
similar to coffee, but there's definitely some natural sweetness to it.
Right,
It's less bitter, it's a little smoother.
right,
And we
right.
also actually add chicory root to our classic blend
That's
date coffee,
great.
just a little bit, just to give it a little
Right, a
bold,
little.
extra coffee flavor kick.
Yes.
And
Oh,
it's
that's
really healthy for you too, and also naturally caffeine free, healthy herbs. So
Oh, yeah. So where can people find this because I've never seen that and I'm always looking for stuff like that. Where can people find this?
So you can find it at kormacafe.com. It's Korma with a K. So KORMA. Cafe.com.
Okay.
We're also available on Amazon, a handful of retail locations that are more healthy oriented grocery stores type of places. Although I am available in a couple of dessert shops. But yeah, kormacafe.com is the easiest place to find it.
Okay. And because I've like 1 minute left. So tell me, where can people find you at also?
The easiest place to find me, my handle is Trenton Hudson across pretty much all social media platforms. But the only one I really use is Instagram for my personal. Everything else, I'm like really active. If I'm on Facebook, Twitter, anything, it's usually for either my coffee company or I also produce cartoons. So it's usually more business oriented.
Right.
But yeah, personally, the only way to really get a hold of me and have me see a message is on Instagram.
Okay, great. All right, Trenton, thank you so much for being here. And we'll be putting this on the podcast this week. Thanks.
Great. I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to the Maria Liberati Show, and thanks as always to my producer, Britton Roselle, and my special guest this week, Trevor Hudson. And a special reminder that today, March 8th, is International Women's Day. So, there's many ways to celebrate that. Hopefully you're celebrating by listening to and downloading our podcast. And please share and like the podcast. And also, a reminder that I will be doing another 4-course wine pairing dinner at the Ridgewood Winery in Bechtelsville, Pennsylvania. I'll be doing this Italian-themed 4-course wine pairing with their award-winning wines. Registration is limited, and you can register for this event on eventbrite.com. And for my podcast listeners, if you enter in the code food and wine with a number 5, you will get a special discount. That is only for my podcast listeners. And if you have any questions on the event, please email me at info@marialiberati.com. And as always, you can find me at marialiberati.com. You can find me on Facebook at Chef Maria Liberati, on Twitter at Maria Liberati, on Pinterest at Maria Liberati, on Instagram at Maria Liberati. And let's see, my Roku channel is The Basic Art of Italian Cooking by Maria Liberati. We now have a YouTube channel called The Maria Liberati Show, and my Vimeo channel called Maria Liberati. My best-selling book series, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, can be found on Amazon and Kindle, and really almost anywhere books are sold online. And you can also find them at artoflivingprimamedia.com. And until next time, peace, love, and pasta.